What's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and oh my goodness, The Flash Season 1 is in the books fast enough. The season finale of The Flash happened tonight, and I do not know what to say. It's a first, okay, maybe not, but um, one thing that I think has bothered me a little bit as season one of The Flash has gone on is how many of the people I know and talk to and see in my everyday life have abandoned Arrow in a sense and basically said, oh, The Flash is better than Arrow. And it's hurt because I am a huge Arrow fan. To me, The Arrow is my favorite TV show. And tonight is the night that I can finally probably say, damn, I get it. I understand why people are starting to feel that way. This is quite possibly the coolest and best episode of Flash all season. And that says a lot. Now, my caveat to that is, and one of the reasons why I always say, I kind of go back to Arrow is, let's see where the Flash is when they're like, 70 episodes in, like Arrow is. Arrow has done a lot more, I should say, 2 full more seasons. So right now, when you're establishing everything, it's exciting, it's new, and everybody enjoys it. And, the storyline with Harrison Wells, Tom Cavanaugh, was great. As Reverse Flash, and I'm interested to see what happens next. And I'll tell you, man, season 2 is already spiraling out of control. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of spoilers here. If you have not seen episode, I think it's like 23. If you have not seen the season finale yet, just please come back once you do, and we'll talk about it then. But for now, man, I just, unbelievable. That's just the word as I can describe it. So in the last episode, they caught, Edibard Thawne, Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, if you will. And, they start off the episode in, one of the chambers with him, kind of resting, well, not resting, but, captive finally. So he's there and he can't get out, and that's that. But he's still scheming, because obviously Barry wants to know, what the heck? Like, what was all of this for? You killed my mom. It's brutal, man. Like, the emotion is raw. It's powerful. Tom Cavanaugh, honestly, like, at his best. I want to know how Tom Cavanaugh is not a bigger actor at this point in his career. Like, I know he's been on some pretty cool stuff. But, man, this guy is great. He is grade A. Like, I think in every way that Grant Gustin made the show, Tom Cavanaugh, like, was that much better. And, I have so much respect for him as an actor now. I really feel like he just absolutely nailed the role. And he made a really good bad guy. And he made a really good guy. So it's like, you want to love him, you want to hate him, and like, honestly, like, I feel like, Edibard Thawne was a very changed man in the 15 years he was stuck in this dimension. But he still has that intense hatred for Barry Allen, even though, he's become really close to him over his time in creating him. So, long story short, he basically, establishes to Barry exactly what happened, and then comes the deal. It's deal-making time, and he's like, look, here's your option. You can send me back to my time, or you can go back in time and save your mom. You were always destined to be the Flash. I went back in time, hoping to kill you, so that you would never become the Flash. And, when your future you basically transports your past you out of my reach, I killed your mother out of frustration. And it's emotional, man. It's really emotional. He basically says that Barry can go back in time and save his mother, and it will change everything. So Barry, obviously, knowing what it's like to go back in time and how it changes things, consults with everybody. Cisco is completely against it. He just basically says, no, don't do it. Everybody else basically says, yeah, go for it. His dad, though, says, no, I would not change anything to be able to see who you've become and what you've become. And I hope someday you become a father so that you understand how I feel right now. So there's a lot of really crazy stuff going on, man. It's really intense. And he spends the whole episode trying to decide what to do. And then ultimately he does decide to go back in time. And it's kind of a waste in a way because he gets there. It's not a waste. I take that back. It's not a waste at all. But he gets there, and just as he's about to step out of the room, his future self turns to that doorway and holds his finger up and says, no, don't do it. And he gets it, and he knows, and he's so stuck in the moment of, my God, that's my mom. I haven't seen her in 15 years. And, it's really one of the most powerful scenes I think I've ever seen. Honestly, like in a TV show, like I literally cried. I cried. It was like that emotional for him to watch his mother. Well, actually, he shuts the door because he knows what's about to happen. And as soon as he hears them speed away, he realizes that his mother didn't die immediately. And she's there, and they have a conversation. And it's one of the most beautiful, powerful, emotional, raw scenes you are ever going to see in a TV show, in a movie. And I promise you, if that scene does not make you cry, you are not human. Because I'm tearing up just thinking about how powerful that was. For him to see his mom and basically show his mom what he becomes. Like, she dies knowing that her son becomes an amazing man and grows up to be happy, and that her husband is supported and okay. She dies knowing all that, and I just, well done. Just well done. I really can't rave enough about that whole scene. And it's crazy because you don't know what's going to happen next. Now, he has a very short period of time that he can be back in the past. And as he's doing that, Reverse Flash is gearing up to use his little time portal to go to the future. And all of a sudden, as they're saying their goodbyes, you see Jay Garrick's helmet get thrown into the scene. There's so many Easter eggs in this. You see Jay Garrick, the original Flash, in the Flash from Earth 2. You see his helmet get thrown into the scene, and he's like, "That's," and Harrison Wells, or I don't know. He's got like so many names that I just don't know what to call him. Thawne is basically like, "That's my cue to leave." When Barry is in the wormhole going back in time, you see Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost. When Cisco is talking to Harrison Wells, I guess you would call him at that point, he admits that he remembers, Eddibard Thawne killing him. And, Thawne is basically like, wow, you have a special gift where you can see, you can see alternate realities and the vibrations of time or something like that. It's basically a tease as to him becoming Vibe, which he basically tells Cisco, hey man, you're a metahuman, and you didn't know it. I suspected it. And I forget exactly what he says. Hold on, I actually have the exact quote that he does say to Cisco. He basically says to him, you're able to see through vibrations in the universe. And then he goes, a great and honorable destiny awaits you now. basically saying, hey man, you're gonna be a very central figure in the grand scheme of things. So that's really really interesting. Also we see Firestorm finally use his power to manipulate materials. That's one of the things he could always do. He could always like transmute stuff into the exact element that he needs. So he's finally able to do that. Of course, Caitlin and Ronnie get married. Martin Stein apparently is a Hebrew pastor or whatever. So he legally marries them. And again, you do see that teaser of Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost. So there's so much going on. Martin Stein at one point says Excelsior, which obviously is a hat tip to Stan Lee. So that's pretty interesting. There's a minute and 52 seconds that he was going to have in the past, which is kind of like I don't know, I guess you could say a reference to the new, to the, what do you call it, the 52 event. Just so much stuff going on, and, we've got the Speed Force, and, so essentially, it comes down to Barry coming flying out of the wormhole right as Thawne is about to exit and use the time machine. And, it's crazy. Barry just literally comes flying out with his fist and just destroys the time machine. And Thawne is pissed. He's like, what did you do? Now I'm stuck here, and they fight, and he's kicking Barry's ass, and he's like, I just want you to know that after I kill you, I'm going to kill every single one of your friends. And that is where the wild card comes in. So earlier in the episode, Martin Stein is having a conversation with Eddie Thawne, who's basically like, yeah, I become a nobody, a nothing. And, nobody ever remembers me, and I'm like the only one in my family like that. And he goes, no, that makes you the wild card. You're the exception or something like that. And he's right. I kind of sensed it as soon as this conversation happened that what ended up... there's two things that happened tonight that I felt like were going to happen, and they did end up happening. Number one is Barry not saving his mother, but having that conversation with her. I kind of saw that coming. I was kind of thinking that would be what the ultimate event was, because, I just didn't think that they were going to mess with the reality that they kind of already established through the season. The number two thing was, what's the easiest way to make Eddibard Thawne go away? You kill his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, or whatever Eddie Thawne is. So Eddie Thawne shoots himself and kills himself. And because of that, Eddibard Thawne never exists. And he slowly fades away. First of all, he shifts from the Tom Cavanaugh portrayal of Thawne to whoever the guy that played him in that one episode. And then he just fades away. And, I don't think they ever would have gone that far. But, it's just really interesting that is kind of like the step that they took to ensure that, Eddibard Thawne doesn't kill everybody, is he basically, Eddie Thawne kills himself. So, because of that, it reopens that wormhole, and a wormhole rips open above the city, and, the season ends with Barry effectively running up a tornado and trying to reverse the effects of the big wormhole. Now, as they're doing that, they kind of they fade to Sierra Renee, who is going to play Hawkgirl in DC's Legends of Tomorrow. They also show Captain Cold and Heatwave kind of looking up at it. So, they basically have their possible, heroes of tomorrow cast right there. The only thing that they really need is, Rip Hunter to come flying out of the wormhole to kind of save the day. So I feel like that's going to be how season 2 starts, is establishing Heroes of Legends of Tomorrow with that scene. And yeah, there's just so much going on. I'm still a Flash first. I don't know what it is, but I don't have the same personal emotional attachment to the Flash as I do Arrow. And it might have a lot more to do with me than it does the actual quality of the TV shows. Like, I found Arrow at a time in my life when I was miserable and I needed something to keep my mind off it. And Arrow was that show. It captured me. And maybe that's why I have that soft spot for it. And I'm always going to feel, very personal, feelings for that show. But the Flash moved really closer towards it. And, if you want to say which show had a better season 1, I mean, I guess you could say The Flash, because, that's just the way it goes. Like, it's tough to say that, too. But, The Flash, they had so much more to work with, I guess. It's batting second behind Arrow, and it has flashier characters, no pun intended. It has a lot more. The metahuman thing just makes it that much, more visually appealing. So I don't personally feel that way yet. I think I could at some point. I'm really sad to see Tom Cavanaugh go. I hope he has a lot of success in whatever he does next. But yeah, I'm really speechless at just how amazing an episode it was, and how it really sets up everything for next season, both DC's Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash season 2. So I would love to know what you guys thought of the show. There's a ton of Easter eggs I probably missed, but I mean, this is a 10 out of 10. The Flash is everything that's great on TV. DC announced today that Ezra Miller will in fact be Barry Allen and not Wally West in the Justice League movies, and I think that's a horrible mistake. Really, really horrible mistake. Grant Gustin should be getting the gig. He would be fantastic, and they should have just let Ezra Miller be Wally West. They are already using Jon Stewart instead of Hal Jordan in the show, so I don't understand why they couldn't just use Wally West instead of Barry Allen, but not my decision to make. Grant Gustin as the Flash is amazing. I just, honestly, the whole season gets a 10 out of 10 for me. But episode, I think 23, Fast Enough, just absolutely fantastic, amazing episode. I think you guys are all going to be really happy with it. And let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will catch you later. See ya!